Okay, here we are, game 3. In the top left, Ollie is playing Protoss, probably after being defeated in game 2. He's thinking, I'll stick with what I'm best at. Aziz, again, look, this double gas opening that is very trademark now, isn't it? Let's just open with a couple of gases, because you never know, you might need them, especially if you're going to be building badass units like Ultralisks. So, pylon in the main for the Protoss, and I don't like it. Straight away, I don't like this. That's not where you build your pylon when you're playing against Zerg. You build it somewhere over here so that you can create a wall, or you build it somewhere down here so that you can build a wall here. As for building 2 pylons, what is going on there? No workers being produced, and I don't like that either. No workers being produced on this side of the map, and again, I don't like it. So, top tips here, build more workers. Just from the start of the game, you're constantly building workers. I've probably mentioned that in some other casts. Yeah, look, you start with 12 workers, and you've still got 12 workers. You literally, the first thing you do is build a worker, the second thing you do is build a worker, and after that you continue to build workers. I don't know. Anyway, the fast expand for the Protoss, and I do like that. Yay. Good. Fast expo, decent. But this fast expand would have been all the easier to keep safe if you'd have built these things here. Because then you'd have a reasonably complete wall and you just need a couple of units to block it off. And it does mean that, of course, should your Zerg opponent have lots of lings or whatever that they try and run into your base, you can keep them out because you've got a wall. I don't know.
That's going to be a third.
What?
That's going to be a third.
There's a lot of whispery going on in here in bows, and I don't know what they're saying. They're suggesting that there might be a third about to be built by this little dude. He doesn't have the money at present. He's only got 200 minerals. A bit slow on gaining minerals on the grounds that he didn't build any workers. So this extra base is going to help a great deal. More bases mean more money. More money in general means more stuff. At present, army supply wise, it's 3 army supply to 0. So that 3 is hang on, wait, what? There must be, oh yes, the 2 lings and the queen. Yeah, good. I don't know, do you need an army at this stage of the game at the 2-minute 40? You know, sometimes you do, because like a Zerg player, they could have 6 or 12 of these up by now, and if you don't have any army at all, that can be really, really annoying. So this guy is just going to have a quick nibble on a bit of Nexus, just nibble this probe to death as well, but this probe is going to come out and be the hero. You kill my friend, I kill you! And then he's just going to stand there and gloat. Well, what? Your Protoss?
Protoss broken.
Oh, he's complaining that might as well surrender on the grounds that that he's played Protoss. Conrad reckons Protoss is broken on the grounds that 2 workers that cost 50 minerals each were able to beat 1 ling that cost 25. Yeah, that does seem broken. That seems absolutely savage. You're quite right. Anyway, infestation pit and roach warren are coming down. You know, the infestation pit serves a couple of purposes. Allows you to build infestors, allows you to build vipers, and additionally it will allow you to turn your lair into a hive. So those are all good things. Infestors are spellcasters, and they can be really good. They can be really useful against a whole bunch of stuff, but you do have to cast those spells. Just like we saw swarm hosts in the last game, and they did literally nothing. Swarm hosts can be absolutely awesome, and I would like to see a game in which we see swarm hosts actually do their thing, because look at this, like I'm gonna build a wall, the wall of doom at the top of the ramp here. I don't know about that. That's just weirding me out a little bit. Look, you've got a base here, but yeah. So Zerg can only build on the creep. You can only build on this stuff, and your queen has this ability that it can lay creep tumors on this creep, which cause the creep to spread out. So that's how you sort of join up your bases, and it's definitely something, if you do play Zerg, that you want to do, because all of your units, with the exception of drones, move faster when they are on creep compared to when they're not. So that's why you'll see, if you look at any sort of higher level games, that's why you'll see players build a lot of queens. They'll have one queen per hatchery in general, and then they'll have a couple more at least, that go out on the map just to drop creep tumors to spread this creep out. You also have vision of everywhere that there is creep, so if you can get creep spread over the map, it gives you advance warning if your opponent is coming towards you and stuff like that. Creep is good. So third base coming up for the Protoss. Inside the Protoss base, double side core can only mean one thing. That can mean Golden Armada, or it's a mistake. You, my friend, are a mistake. Yeah, there's no Stargate here. The reason I say double side core means Golden Armada is because the side core, you need it to be able to tech up. So you have to have a gateway and a side core to build any further tech structures as Protoss. But once you've got one side core, the only thing it does is upgrades for your air units after that. So the only reason you would have two is if you're going to be doing those upgrades two at a time, double upgrades for air units. So Stargate is being built now, but also a Twilight console. So the tech path here is a little bit confusing. Hard to tell really what we're going up to. I think this honestly was an error. If the Twilight is going to be for upgrades to Zealots, for example, or Gateway units, you're definitely going to need more than one gateway. This queue, I don't like queues. If we look in this queue, there's 50 minerals, 125 minerals, 125 minerals, 100 minerals. Cancel the queue and build more gateways. And by the time they're built, you've got enough money to crank out all these units all at once. Anyway, Twilight console finishes up. The Twilight enables higher tech. It enables upgrades past level 1, and it also produces upgrades of its own. Most importantly, to get arguably is charge, especially if Zealots are the unit of choice. Okie dokie, in Zergland, we're beginning to get this base saturated, but look, these are larvae that I see just doing nothing. You've got loads of money, so oh no, you don't. Sorry, looking at the wrong one. You don't have loads of money, and the reason for that is you don't have enough little dudes mining. So look, we've got a hive, we've even got swarm hosts, but what we don't have is workers. Look, there's only 8 workers here, which is less than you started the game with. 5 over here, so yeah, 13 total. So, your income is literally one worker more, one worker better economy than you had literally in the first second of the game. And in general, by the 7-minute mark as a Zerg, you're on 3 bases fully saturated with your 4th building. Good. The Ultra Cavern is done, and look, it's researching this gubbins. If anybody knows how to bring up the little countdown timers for stuff being researched.
You need a special modifier before, when you create a game, you have a special modifier.
Do you?
Yep.
So there's no button I can press to bring those up?
Nope.
That is disappointing.
You have to create a game with the modifier on. So then when you watch a replay, it will show you everything.
Oh, really? So that's what they do in WCS and stuff. Oh, that's harsh. Because I'd also love to have the, when medevacs load up and it pings on the minimap. Stuff like that would be really helpful when I'm
next round.
trying to cast. Could I, though?
Yeah, if we tell people to do it, they'll do it and it will work.
They might. Yeah, okay. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty badass. Okay, there's a creep tumor of the type that I was talking about earlier. So once you lay one creep tumor with queen, after a certain amount of time, that creep tumor is sort of an adult and can spawn a little copy of itself somewhere else. When behind, Dark Shrine. There's the Dark Shrine, which what is going on here? Look, we've got the fleet beacon, we've got the double side cores, so surely carriers. But this Dark Shrine allows you to build Dark Templars, which are permanently cloaked units and do a lot of damage. And if we look in the Zerg base, there is literally nothing that can detect cloaked units whatsoever. This is definitely of concern. So, what could happen here, I'm not suggesting it is going to happen, but what could happen is that Ollie warps in a single Dark Templar, and that Dark Templar goes across the map and ends the game.
He has a spire. That's a spore.
The anti-air.
Where's the
I
spore?
think in a second. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, the Dark Templar would have to run past that to come up here and end the game.
Fine with them. Blink. Kill the spore.
Boom. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen here? And now that these units are near the spore, he's pretty much Dark Templar proof. It's almost like sort of some premonition that he's had has caused him to move the units into that position. Anyway, Ollie, as it happens, has just got the Dark Shrine for show and isn't actually going to make any Dark Templars. Mothership in production, so why wouldn't you build a mothership? I mean, after all, you're at almost 140. Sorry, you are at 140 supply. Why wouldn't you? I mean, you've got this mighty army. Why wouldn't you cloak it with a mothership? There's a carrier in production here. A little thing to note: if you're scouting in a Protoss base, you can tell. This is the only building that you can tell what it's building. If you have a look at a Stargate, you can actually see the outline of the unit that's being built, so you can tell whether it's going to be a carrier, an oracle, a void ray, whatever, which can be useful if you were to scout. Speaking of which, this is how much Ollie knows about his opponent's base.
He knows there's some minerals there.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
He knows there was some minerals.
He knows there was some at the start of the game, is all he knows. But of course, if we look from Azizzle, if we look from his point of view, he knows way more about his opponent. He knows that he expanded. Dun, dun, dun! And here we are at the 11-minute mark. That is good knowledge. So, with this mothership coming, I like the way it cloaks the buildings as well. And that can be an interestingly useful thing. I've seen a game in which a Nexus was saved from a Ling run by recalling the mothership. And the mothership turned up and cloaked the Nexus, so the Lings couldn't kill it. Which I thought was pretty cool. It's an expensive way to save a Nexus. But, still pretty cool. So I feel that we're building up to some sort of A-click. Look at these units go. Look how fast they are. Protoss is so broken, man. Over here, these Mutalisks are, beating their wings furiously and flying nowhere. They're like, why can't we just land and have a rest, man? Why must we hover this whole time? These guys, they hover without even trying. Overlords, look, they're just chilling in midair. But Mutalisks, they've got a flap. Poor old Mutalisks, like, it's pretty harsh, isn't it? It's pretty harsh the amount of work they've got to do just to stay still. In recognition of their hard work, I'd really like to see them on the other side of the map killing stuff. Because, after all, in this game, that's what you make units for. You make army stuff to kill other stuff. So keeping it at home, just chilling out, arguably is not the best use of those Mutalisks. They're just flapping about in the sky here, burning off calories, when actually they could be up in here killing these things. They could be up in here killing these things. And if you look at how little money Ollie's got in the bank, if you were to kill those probes, he'd be crippled. Anyway, all of this stuff is moving out. There's a Templar at the back with loads, full energy. This Templar can throw down 3 storms like a happy little spellcaster. No, he hasn't researched storm. So actually the Templar can do nothing. Oh my goodness, what is happening here? Look, what? That neither of them know about the other one's army. They're just, what the hell? These mutants are now just going to flap in the middle of the map for a while. Ollie now realizes, hang on, my stuff is under attack. Oh no, but I'm all the way over here. Oh good lord, best trade, is it a best trade? Bear in mind the Protoss has the recall ability, so he can get in here, he can wreck a bunch of stuff, and then he can use a Nexus to recall home. Oh no, Ollie, indecision from Azizzle. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, my base is dying, but look, I've walked all the way here. I'm just going to crack on. These swarm hosts don't know what's happening. The Ultralisks are just going to eat some stuff. Oh gosh, too much. After a long period of inactivity, I don't even know what to do anymore. So this stuff can kill this pretty quickly. This stuff can kill this pretty quickly. I don't know. No one knows what can. They're both supply blocked. They've both got enough money to build everything. There is a DT in here that's just going ham, uncontested. These overlords are probably going to die too. But look, sneaky Biss, ha ha. But of course, there's pylonage. There's all sorts of stuff all over the map. Now Protoss decides, I've had enough. I'm going home. I'll just leave that gas extractor for later, and I'm going to go back. Why wouldn't you have just left Azizzle or something? You know what I mean? Given that you win the game by destroying your opponent's buildings, and you've come up in the base, and as far as you know, you've killed everything but this, and you've decided, I'll leave that and go home? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
fair.
Well, he hasn't killed anything. In the second base he attacked, he left quite a bit as well. If you look, I think he left
No, those are overlords.
Oh,
He killed everything. So literally, as far as he knows, that's the only building left on the map. And if he kills it, he wins the game. But he decides to go home, and home he has gone. And he's going to turn up just in time to stream in here in single file and take an absolute pasting. I don't even know what's going to happen here. The army supplies are remarkably close. There isn't. The Zerg looks like it's just going to boss this. The mothership, had it turned up at the same time as those other units, that would have changed everything. The other units would have been cloaked. There's no detection here for the Zerg, and it all would have died. These carriers are doing a great deal of damage. 12 kills, 8 kills. But I don't know. There's a lot of corruptors. There's a lot of mutas. The DTs are going to win on the ground, but the mutas in the air are shooting the interceptors. They're not shooting the carriers. The carriers are laughing at them. They're mocking you, my friend. They're saying, "Nah, you can't even see me over here." Oh, wait. No, you can. When you're fighting carriers, shoot the carriers, not the interceptors, is nearly always the best thing to do. This carrier gets away with its life. This Ultralisk is going to start munching on stuff, but gets picked off by the DTs that it can't even see. And it must have been really confused by that. If you're an Ultralisk, I'd hate to generalize, but I suspect Ultralisks aren't even that clever. So it must have been there going, there's something stabbing me and I can't even see it. What the hell? So I don't know, a little bit of micro, just the type of micro that would have just been like, right click on that one, kill it, right click on that one, kill it, right click on that one, kill it, and it could have come out differently, but it didn't. So if we look at the army supplies, 6 and 4, it didn't go well for StarCraft, that's for sure. These guys, one of their abilities is they kind of wee on a building, and apparently they've, I don't know what they've been eating, but their wee is in some way acidic and causes that building to die. So if he knew that, he could wee on this building and wreck it. But both of these players now have to try and rebuild. Luckily, they've got a substantial amount of money to spend. Ollie with $5,000 gas.
Just Ling Rush from there and he wins.
Ling Rush. I mean, as Azizzle, what he needs to do here is just see all of these guys, just go hatchery, and have all them hatcheries, and then as soon as this spawning pool finishes, hold down the Z button and just win. That's it. Just win. I still can't get over this extractor. just leave the extractor. It's fine. Maybe he did know about the other base.
Of course, there's their second base, which is partially mined.
No, he didn't. He really hasn't seen that area at all.
Well, he must have had a base, otherwise it can't that he would be revealed.
Yeah, he didn't stay long enough though. It's not instant. It comes up like 30 seconds after you've lost your Nexus or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's all good. Let's see what's happening here. Really fast Nexus. I mean, as places to build a Nexus go, it is a curious one, isn't it? I like that he's gone for the double side core again. You killed my side cores, well, I'm going to build 2 more. How do you like them apples? I'm not going to use them, but I'm definitely going to build them. These, it looks like, with the triple Stargate, surely we're just... Oh, fills the queue instantly with one of each. Yeah, good. I don't know. What are you going to be doing with all of this stuff? Choose a unit, build a lot of it, and go forth and kill. The Dark Shrine, I don't really know what to say about this game.
It didn't work once.
It's quite a thing. It's quite a thing. Oh, I thought there was about to be action. I thought this stuff was moving out. If we look at the army supply, it is massively in favour of Ollie. It looks like Azizzle might have missed the boat a little bit. Might have missed that opportunity to just crank out huge numbers of lings and go across the map and dominate. These oracles are going to come in and probably look at some stuff. There they are looking, going, oh look, flying guys. And meanwhile this stuff is going to come in and wreck fists. What is there for the Zerg? There's this stuff in the air. Mutants do quite well against Void Rays. They're not a bad choice. And actually if you kill the Void Rays and you're able to pick off the Stalkers, what else shoots up? Roughly nothing. You know, your Zealots don't. What? So actually, you need to focus down. Needed to focus down the Stalkers first. And it looks like there's still Protoss left over, and there just isn't really Zerg left over. So, a couple more mutants coming out. Still doesn't know about this place though, so probably he'll just leave this extractor and then go home. But the drones are going to give it away. Look, the mama ship comes in, sees this stuff. Another spellcaster from Ollie. Will we see it cast a spell? I suspect not. Disrupt. Oh, what? I don't remember. Was there a disruptor in that?
Lily played a game after her games yesterday, and there were disruptors involved.
I want to see disruptors being involved. Disruptors are
Abysmal.
right. Okay. Look, he loves leaving the extractor, doesn't he? Just you don't. What? Did he just recall? Brilliant. Well, at least we have seen a spell be cast. Mightn't have been the most effective one to use, but this game's essentially over. Look, there's 67 army supply versus 12. There's 47 workers versus 16. There's 2,500 minerals versus 3,000.
I think Azizzle wins now. More money.
He's got more money, so he's going to win. It is not Monopoly. It's not about that money. It's all over. What even happened? I don't know.
Protoss won.
Protoss. Of course it did. Protoss OP. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yay! Okay, GG.